All right. Now, this is going to be an open discussion time. What we need is some input. The last few years, between the dealer not really participating or helping, being involved with the chapter, the dealer being closed, et cetera, COVID, restaurants closed, on and on and on. We're just kind of in survival mode. Let's keep doing rides, try and keep things going. But now we're getting out the other side of this, and we'd like to get your input on. Ace can expand on this.
Ready?
All yours.
So the day of the sign-up renewal party that we had, one of the members who's been here for a while sat me down and asked me a question that I wasn't prepared to answer. I had no answer for him at the time. He asked me, what was the goal of our chapter? And I was kind of thinking about that, and I'm like, well, what is our goal of a chapter? And I'll get to that in a second. Chapters run like a business, right? We have a board, we got a treasurer, we bring in money, we spend money. You guys appoint us to that board. So we kind of run it like a business, but it's not like we have a business statement. It's not like we have creeds. I would say we do have values, but we never really have like a mission statement. So when he asked me that question, like I said, I really couldn't answer it. And I asked him a little bit more. I'm like, what are you trying to get out of the chapter? And he's like, well, how come the chapter doesn't do this? How come the chapter don't do that? How come the chapter is always going to the same places every year, ride after ride? We have the same activities every year, same place. You know, we're going to the same, you know, we're doing these, you know, it's the same menu. It was more of a rant, which is perfectly fine, because I can't fix anything if I don't know it's broke. So we had our officers meeting last week for about 20 minutes. We took care of business. And then when I interject in regards of what this question was, after that it was a heated hour-and-a-half conversation among the officers. Which is a good thing, because now we're having debates among the officers, which we never really had before. It was more business as usual. And I think we're getting to the point now that COVID is in our rearview mirror, because per the president, it's no longer going to exist after May 11th. So whether that's true or not, I truly believe that COVID's in our rearview mirror. But we have an opportunity now to change the culture of our chapter. You know, we're getting new riders in. That means new blood, new ideas. You guys run the chapter. We're just here to support and make sure that everything is done safe and by the book. But you guys run the chapter. You guys appoint us to run the business. If it's the same rides all the time, it's because we're not getting any input from the chapter. Kevin does a hard work for the past 2 years, and when he was like, you know what? I think I'm ready to step down. I think I'm ready for somebody else to take over and bring some new life as a road captain. Nobody wanted it. Al and Rhonda, they're under the gun and under pressure for a lot of things that are out of their control that they cannot do anything about. If there's stuff that's there, if it's the same place all the time, it's because they went and they looked at 6 different places for the kickoff party, but they could not accommodate what we needed. Why is the menu the same? This one I could probably say we should probably gotten more feedback from the chapter. Because I know if I was asked, well, do you think $40 is too little or do you think $40 is too much? Personally, I own a Harley. I think $40 is too little. I can afford an $80 plate to have a better venue, better activities. I know I can. And I'm not even retired. I work hard for my money, but I know that I can. Maybe there's some people out there like that. Yeah, I'm looking at you there, Mr. Florida.
What do you think of the cake was?
Oh, Mr. I'm riding all year round, but we'll get to that later. My point is that there are certain things that we can control and there are certain things that we can't. But if we don't get the input like this gentleman gave me that day, you know, I've seen it before COVID even hit. I've seen the stuff that we were doing. We were going down the same road. I think that conversation that I had with that gentleman was just my universe letting me know, hey, this is really happening. We had an opportunity to go join Lakeshore when City Limits was MIA, at an idol, or whatever, just so we can feel whole. We decided, we're going to stay City Limits until you decide us that City Limits is no longer. But we're staying here. And that's what we did. We did that for you. Keep that in mind. I love you guys to death. You guys are my second family. But what I heard was really discouraging. And it was so discouraging because of the fact that we were against odds for that hour and a half. Well, they're not doing this. They're not doing that. Well, you're right. But what have we done to encourage them to come forward? Because I haven't seen it. There's a lot of things that I haven't seen. So, again, I've been MIA for 4.5 years because of my job. But you guys still trusted me to be your assistant director, and that's why I'm standing here today, because I have the confidence that I can tell you what I'm telling you, and you guys won't get offended. So I don't want to take any offense to this, but I am here to ruffle feathers. I am here to try to change the culture, and I am here to get new blood into the chapter. But again, without you guys, we can't do our job. Because yes, it will be the same old song, the same old song, the same old song, because that's what we're used to. And I don't want it to be like that. So, we decided at that officers meeting we were going to open up the floor to you guys. So however long it takes, what time are you here tonight, sister? Midnight?
I don't know, someone will buy me a beer.
I'll buy you a beer. Here we go. So we're here as long as it takes in order to make 2023 a better year for this fucking chapter. Alright? So that's what we're going to do. So you have the opportunity now to ask questions. We will give you answers. If we don't have answers, we will get answers. We will talk it among the committee and we will get you answers. But right now, I truly feel that we have an opportunity to open up the door and change this culture of this chapter. 2023 is going to be a new year. The management at City Limits, if you've been here long enough, you know it's a revolving door. Because if Joseph's going to do a kick-ass job like he swears he's going to do, he's going to be right out the door in 6 months because he's going to go somewhere to make another dealership better. I've seen it. I don't trust the management. I really don't. And I've said that from day one. You know, I'm like, I'll see it when, or I'm sorry, I'll believe it when I see it. But I'm going to stop talking right now. You guys have the floor. If you guys want to make it a bitch session, we're all for it. That's why we're here. Majority of the officers are here except for Karen. But, I mean, I trust Karen with my money, so I think our money is well protected.
It's there.
It is there. So, the floor is yours. What do you got?
Okay, we put pieces of paper
Right.
and pens on the tables.
I'm sorry, I wasn't aware that you guys did that.
Yeah.
My bad.
I did that.
So there's paper and pens.
If anybody has
If anybody
a
wants
suggestion
to write
for
shit
an
out.
event or ride, a route that they want to do and they're interested in, write it down and give it to us. Make sure to put your name on it.
Or don't, actually. No.
Or don't.
Well, actually, no. I want, because I want, if you're going to do a ride, if you have a suggestion on where to go.
Oh,
Oh,
for the
yeah,
ride.
right.
For the ride. If you
Yeah,
have a
but-
suggestion where to go.
Do other things.
Put where it is and your name so that we can get you together with the road captain and you can work with the road captain to make it happen.
If you want.
If you want. We can lead, we can do the routes, but we need to know where to go. Some of us have been doing this for a long time, and after a while, it's just like, I've been there. It's like, where the hell do I go?
And a lot of that is all geographic too. I mean, we're in the northwest suburbs. Who wants to ride in the city? Yeah, exactly. But that's where I ride. But nobody wants to do it. I can give 1,001 suggestions on where to go inside the city. So nobody's going to want to come down there because they're too afraid to ride the city. Granted, you have that right to be afraid. It's definitely a whole other world. But again, I mean, geographically, we can only go so far. I mean, John came up. He was like, well, what are you guys looking for? Well, we're looking for long rides. He'll put up a long ride, and only one person will show up. Al and Rhonda did how many dinner rides? Every week, one person will show up. Well, I want a short ride. Well, there's your ride. If you don't want to do a 20-minute ride, your dinner ride is the one that's every Wednesday. Welcome to the family. You guys want a long ride all day? You know, before my job, I did a tri-state ride, and I was gone for 14 hours that day. And I hit 3 states.
I have 2,000 300-mile rides.
There you go. Kim?
Say something? Yeah.
Yep.
I think that we are not going to get, everybody's not going to be in agreement with what we all want to do. You get people here that ride 20 minutes, half an hour, 4 hours, 5 hours, it doesn't matter, you know. We're not all going to be in agreement, but I think that we should continue to put out rides, and the people that want to go should sign up, but I'm kind of feeling like, you know, it's our fault as a group, like you said, it's our fault that we're not going on all these rides because all of us don't participate. It's coming. I don't think everybody's gonna be in agreement to every single thing. That's all of us. I think you're gonna have people that are gonna, you're gonna have somebody that's gonna complain about something. You're gonna have someone that's gonna bitch about something, or bitch about this one or that one, or they didn't do this. It's gonna happen in a lot of people. So I think that we should just continue putting out rides out there, and who can join, great. Who can't, well, then don't complain.
Yeah, and sometimes it does get frustrating if you show up for a ride and there's only 1 or 2 other people, both from the road captain and from the other person on the ride.
Right.
But that happens. Everybody has families, has jobs, has responsibilities. It happens.
And I think if you sign up for these rides, you should follow through with them. And if you can't, you should say, hey, so-and-so, I got sick, or I got whatever, you know. I personally know one of the rides that I was supposed to go on, we were supposed to go on this 2-hour ride, but the weather was horrible. They wanted to pull in any of this. I felt bad about them. I think it was this ride. But I don't want to feel guilty about it. I don't want to feel bad that I can't do it. You know? And I think that we should all be able to make decisions as a group.
Right, and then one of the things that we're trying to change was one of the things that we talked about, that we definitely need, before we make big decisions like the kickoff party, like the Christmas party, stuff like that, to get more feedback from the chapter before we plan those events. And that, we're gonna start doing that going forward.
And even if you get everybody to put in what they think, you know, the ones that have the most amount or whatever. You know,
Right.
I think you're always gonna have, somebody's gonna debate something.
Right,
Not everybody.
because I guarantee you, if we asked back in November, hey, what do you think is a reasonable amount that you'll be willing to spend for a kickoff party? Like if the number was higher than 40, that could possibly give Hal a lot more venues to look at, or an opportunity to maybe improve on a menu. But you know, because of the fact that we thought we had a budget that was always working in the past, but we never really thought, hey, let's think outside the box. Let's see what happens if the chapter would mind spending $20 more, so we can get a better menu. You know, so like you said, you can't make everybody happy. Some people were great with the menu, majority of people don't like the menu, so, or the venue, or whatever. But I think that it's important for us to know what direction that we would like the chapter to go. It's really important to get the feedback from the people.
And it's gonna take all of us.
Absolutely. And I think it's more so on our end to remind you guys, like, hey, this is kind of what we're thinking. What do you guys think? Before we just talk among the officers, because that's what was really going on. You know, we had an idea, you guys thought it was great, but then we, the officers, did all the planning without any input from the rest of the chapter, which I thought was kind of unfair.
Sometimes two people have a hard time speaking up, maybe saying something.
That's why
maybe
they
Yes.
have these.
You're right.
Yeah.
Put it in.
And I know I do.
Well, one thing for everybody to remember is if you have a problem, a question, a suggestion, see an officer. If you more than one-on-one, if you want to come to the officer, to the board meeting and ask a question. Because it may be something that we didn't think of. You know, because we're all trying to, you know, you kind of trying to make everybody happy, and sometimes you get a little complacent, and a little input helps us think outside the box a little bit.
And I don't want you guys to think that we're not unapproachable. I mean, I know he looks scary, but that's just his resting bitch face.
Yeah, and you know, we can be disappointed. You know, you try and do something, and somebody didn't like it. But you know what? It's not personal. Don't take it personal. You know, I know you guys have suggestions. We do things. Sometimes our hands are tied on the decisions we make. Sometimes they're not. So, but we want people to not be shy, you know, but be constructive. Don't just say, "Ah, this sucks." Well, shit, that ain't gonna help me fix it. You know, be constructive in what you need. You know, we'd like to see this, or, you know, this could have been better, and in the future, we can work on that as a group, everybody. Anybody else?
I got a question, just
Yes.
some questions for you. Just for, because you guys were having a debate, and we weren't there for that, but, what do you guys think this group is about? Is it a social organization? Is it a,
Well, I haven't gotten to the part where I found the answer to the gentleman's question. The answer to the gentleman's question was that we just want to ride, and we want to be social.
I think it's a little more than that, though. I think there's a bond here. When you go to somebody's funeral, when somebody says they're not feeling good, and you see them again, and a bunch of people ask you about that. How's my dog? You know, I'm sorry about your family member who passed. So yes, it's riding, and I agree with that. But I bought a number of bikes over the years, and I remember one of the last bikes or whatever is, you know, I like this BMW, you know, whatever, K1800, and it's got all these things, and I really like it. But if that key is hanging up in the garage, and a Harley key is hanging up in the garage, I'm taking the Harley, and I'm not taking it just for the bike. I'm taking it because I don't want to lose the relationship I have with this club.
I like that.
So, you know, I dropped my pants, but that's the truth, you know, so. That's like, I think it's great that the officers have a discussion about it. I think it's okay that people complain. I never like it, I've been in that position many times as officers and all that kind of crap, and, you know, when it comes, and I don't mind people complaining, but I need some volunteerism. I need somebody to step up and give me some input. At the same time, I like the friction that you guys are bringing up because I don't like change. And hearing friction helps push you towards change that is probably more useful than just being stagnant, right?
what kind of a change do you guys think you need? Is it because you want to get more membership? Or more participation in events?
I think more participation would be great. I mean, we were at one point where we had almost 250 members,
Yeah.
and we only would see usually anywhere between 30 and 50 of the same people. So, I mean, our monthly meetings were about 70 people, but on the rides, it was always the same people, which is fine, because again, the camaraderie was always there with everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I stuck with this chapter solely because of the people. When I first started, I just realized that my 10th year anniversary with this chapter is going to be this June.
No way.
10 years. Chalupa was there for one of them. Actually, he's the only member here As one of the OGs. Honestly. Oh, no, Mike
I've been a
Petty.
member for 22 years,
So, you know,
since '02.
I mean, think about it. I mean, we had our meeting at Alley 64 in the corner while business as usual was going on, and you couldn't hear Stan Boris talking over anything.
Right.
I went to 2 meetings. The second meeting, I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. Why am I even here? And in that week, so the meeting was on Wednesday. I went to City Limits on Saturday to buy the little shorty antennas for my 01 Ultra that I bought at the time. Jim Berard came up to me, slapped me on the back. He's like, what's going on? How you doing? He knew I was a new rider. It's my first Harley because I came from a crotch rocket. So I still had a lot to learn about Harley Davidson. He was like, how you doing? I'm like, great. He's like, what you doing? I'm like, buying some shorty stuff. He's like, oh yeah, that's good. He goes, what you gonna do after this? I'm like, I have no plans. And I knew I was in trouble when he asked me the next question. You got a curfew? I was like, no sir, I don't. You wanna go riding? Absolutely I do. We went riding. We went riding for so long, my freaking fuel gauge light came on. No place to go, no destination. I just followed him. And I'm like, hey, my fuel light's on. Okay. Is your bike sputtering? Nope. You got some time. Here we go. Another 20, 30 miles before we got there. That's when I knew that this chapter was for me. And then it wasn't the very next chapter meeting is when we started having a home bar, and then the closest really started. And 2 years later, I became an officer. So you're right, it's all about the people. And that's why we feel that it's important to get your input, because it'll only make us better as officers.
See, when I think about organizations I've been involved in, they were usually very personal. We all called each other on the phone. We didn't make plans for the weekend unless, 70% of us made. But a lot of times with this organization, everything's through technology. We're doing it online. I don't think anybody here knows my phone number. Nope, nobody here knows my phone number. And I don't know anybody else's phone number either. What is your phone?
847-264-0695.
So,
473664285.
yeah, maybe we gotta pull that in a little bit more and kind of less on meetup and more.
So you would like name and numbers of your fellow chapter members?
I sure. Not that I would maybe some sort of document that would have that information. And I'm not saying that that's a cure. I'm just saying maybe that's
It is very helpful.
might help.
It's an idea, and
Membership
that's
directory,
right.
if people want to put their name on it, we print it out at the meeting and let people take it home.
So a few years ago, I started a messenger page for Facebook. It was called Two Wheel Therapy.
Yeah.
And on that page, if John was bored, like, hey, I got the day off, who's available? Let's go riding. Meet me at City Limits at 10 a.m.
Now it's all politics and jokes.
That's how it started.
Yeah.
And then it went in a totally different direction. I was like, yeah, I washed my hands from this because this is not what it was for. So it kind of got abused. Hey, I'm selling some old forks,
The way it's set up is you voted in initially to, I don't know how you do your sign-up thing, but you voted in and it's got your phone number in there. And same thing, what you do is, okay, so if my wife's gonna ride with me, you're gonna bring a guest and then you put it in, or hey, I'm gonna have one of my buddies come ride with, so you got a little bit of understanding on the master reading. Anybody can see that when you're looking at it. So it looks like there's 6 characters today. And sometimes you get more people because of that, because, you can re-look on the ride. I even forget how you guys do it up here, but as far as, I know yours is on Meetup, but I don't remember quite how that went. Well, I can look at it.
You mark a tab and then it keeps a list of everybody that's going that you can look at.
Right, I got a whole week schedule, and there's sometimes it's kind of like what you said is, okay, there's only 2 people, I don't know, they really want to bother going, and then you see, well, there's 6 people now.
That can actually work against you guys. Because if people look at it and only see 1 or 2, they decide not. Whereas if it's, you show up if you want to ride, that's when 15, 20 people show up because, okay, there's a ride. The
Yep.
minute they see 1 or 2, they're going, I'm not going to bother.
And then the problem is, now you got 15 people, and you only plan on 2, now we don't have enough road captains.
2 road captains in 2 weeks.
Or
So-
reservations that are in.
You can't- you can't win for losing sometimes.
I mean, we'll talk about alternative ways, because I mean, I love the spontaneous rides. You know, I mean, Kitty and I went out to Star Rock one day, just because. Just because.
Okay.
Yep.
You guys went to Star Rock, was it like last minute of the weekend?
It was the last minute. She said that she needed to get some practice in. She called me up, and I'm like, I got some practice for you.
Okay, that's.
Next time you do that, call me.
Right?
Right,
Hey,
that's what
I will
he
give
mentioned it.
I will give my number out to whoever wants it, because I guarantee you, I'm going to be riding a lot more this summer.
But you see, Ace, that's what your two-wheel therapy was designed for.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that if that was brought back with the stipulation, it is for
Rides only.
rides only.
Yeah.
And if you choose not to do that, here's another avenue for you to post that information on. But for now, this is what we need, because you did that. Steph would see that, I have the day off. She's there. And that was what it was designed for.
Yeah, I totally agree. And like I said, the
And I-
reason why I just let it be and not participate anymore, because it just went a whole nother avenue.
Well, and even the name of it was fabulous, you know,
Yeah.
two-wheel
Right.
therapy. And that's, it just pinged on everything.
So come
And-
April, I mean, the whole month of January, I took social media off. So, but you can find me on Facebook under Victor Ace Fontanez. Hit me up. So then this way I have your information, and then you'll be able to see two-wheel therapy. So I'll start that back up on April. What's up, Wolf?
The forms that we filled out and turned in for the yearly membership,
Yes.
is there a phone number on there? I just don't remember.
Yes.
Yes, and along with
Phone number
and your email.
We have all that.
You've got it all.
Yes,
Right.
we have it all, so it just be, at this point, as far as the director, is getting everybody's permission to do it.
Right, I think what we'll do, I think what we'll
You can't
do,
just release it.
right, so,
Say yes, go ahead.
right, well, we'll have Lenny do some sort of email blast, maybe some sort of sign-up form where whoever wants to put their name on a list in regards of writing. But honestly, Rhonda's right. I mean, two-wheel therapy is going to be the easiest way to do it.
Because frankly,
Because if Kevin was like, hey, it's Sunday, I'm going fishing, but I'm taking my motorcycle, maybe there's some other fishers out there that we just don't know about.
but frankly, with putting in the phone number, if I don't sit there and put everybody's name next to that phone number, when phone numbers come up,
Yeah, I'm the same way.
so.
Unless you
to
leave me a
do
voicemail.
that- To do that and say, hey, you know, or call me, I'm not gonna answer, well, even though he's not gonna answer, he might, I don't know. But, by doing two-wheel therapy or that, it's an open venue where there's the name, not necessarily the phone number. And from there, you have your group. But to do a blank phone number, I think it's for you to have it, but you would have to absolutely add it to your phone book to know who these people are.
You're gonna be on
But
Facebook.
if they leave a message, you'll look at the message.
But that
How
was
often
at
are
the
you
end of the
communicating
day,
with
when I'm
Kenny
not
about that?
working, and that day has been and then and gone.
All right, well,
So you get the number.
Is this a new phone?
FONTANEZ. NEZ.
Alright,
Fontanez.
how important is new membership to us?
new membership is very important. It gives us, of course, new people, new ideas. It gives us more money, more memberships. With more memberships, more participate, a bigger pool, say in typical organization. Say maybe 30% people are active. If you have 100 people like we do now, that's 30 active people. If you have 200 members, that's 60 people.
And then let's say you get signed up for 500 members, and we do a kickoff party, and then only 50 people are really interested in going to the kickoff party. Now we have enough money in the bank where we can do it for free. That's what Lakeshore is doing.
And I asked that
All the people who
because
don't show up, we use their
I
money.
have a couple of ideas, and it's just rolling in my head. But possibly there being a new membership, or even grabbing some of those old members that faded away, and maybe luring them back a little bit. And I can, I'll talk to you about that after.
Exercise.
Mike's got a question.
Right.
Rhonda, if somebody calls, yes, and I don't recognize the phone number, chances are I won't answer. But if the caller thinks it's important enough, they'll leave a voicemail.
But I may not get to that voicemail till the end of the day because I'm working.
Well, but that's.
And then I've missed that opportunity.
If you're working, you're not going right now.
No, but he's not, but he might be, but he might be, or I can ditch.
Just save that number. Eliminate it when they die.
I think the answer is there's no system
There's
that's
multiple options
Yeah.
that we can consider using.
right, other than just me.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's.
That could have been my excuse to ditch.
Yes?
Isn't there a way with this plan that, let's say, Ace wants to go on a ride, so he sends it out to everybody, and then they would reply. If they're gonna go, if they're interested, not, at least everybody would get it, then they could make that decision.
You'll find people dropping off the list because they don't want to be annoyed by things.
All the
that they're not
emails.
involved
Well,
in.
meetup would be.
Well, then let them drop off.
If he wants to do a ride,
Then
he
it
puts
defeats
it
the
on
purpose.
meetup and sends it out.
I mean, I can do that, but if it's like a last minute thing where people are not gonna see Meetup right away, but everybody's on freaking Facebook, right? So that's why I understand. Well, he's not on it either. So, but that's why I invented the Meetup, because a lot of times when you send a message, they're getting a notification right away. A lot of people are not getting notifications on Meetup because they don't have it set up to get the notification. But they're definitely getting notifications on Facebook because everybody's nosy what everybody's doing.
Can we
So-
redo the setup with meetups so that everybody gets notifications?
That would be up to the individual.
You gotta go in your own
Yeah.
settings. Yeah, go in your settings and set it to notifications, and
Yeah.
it'll beep and tell you that
Then we can
there's
just do it for
something.
everybody's phone.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, I have my notification set up for Meetup.
See, so do I.
So, I'll get that, and I'll, if somebody's leaving a comment, I get notifications for that, and stuff like that. But two-wheel therapy worked great when they used it for the right reasons. Because I guarantee you, I mean, and again, I mean, John's right. You'll have those people where, you know what, I don't want to ride with a lot of people. I just want a small group.
Well, they don't want to send a lot of emails, so after about the third email, they go, take me off the list.
Yeah, exactly, because it was used for the wrong reasons, So, but then Chris put out a ride last minute, and it was only for ladies only. It was gonna be the first ride of the spring. It was ladies only. She got so much response from the guys, she's like, well, maybe I should open up to the guys. And it was the very first ride that she ever led. 31 people showed up for
Where
that
was
thing.
that?
This was before COVID.
Yeah.
I'll do all the rides, ladies only.
But it was 31 people showed up. Like, we were like, holy fuck. We were not prepared for that. It just, the parking lot just kept on going and going and going. And we actually got lucky that the bar was able to handle 31 people, where we decided to go for lunch.
Do all the rides, ladies only.
I was just happy because I didn't have to wear pink that day, because she allowed the guys to
Well,
go.
Hal always carries something pink, just in case.
So, but it's stuff like that, again, it builds the relationship of the chapter, it builds the camaraderie. You're riding with people that you don't get to see all the time. You're sitting next to somebody that you don't get to see all the time. Because I remember when we had our meetings over at Home Bar, it was very cliquish. There's always the same people at the same tables every single meeting, and then Kay came out.
Amen to that one.
Huh?
Amen to that one.
So, and then Kay came up with an idea of like, okay, you're gonna pick a number, and that's the table where you're gonna sit, just so you're able to talk to other people. And it worked great. Then the next meeting we went right back to cliquish, but that's neither here or there. But
It's human nature.
yeah, exactly. I mean, you're comfortable with the people that you're comfortable with, right? So, there's plenty of opportunities out there, and I'm very happy now that I have a job that it's a 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and I'm no longer on call, and I can ride the weekends, I can ride the weeknights if I want. I can do long trips, I can do short trips, I can do whatever. So I'm very happy that I have an opportunity to get back to the ace that I used to be. And I'm very happy that I'm going to be able to spend more time with you guys, because I really missed you. Even you, Chalupa.
And with the rides, I mean, you know, we do chapter rides. You know, we'll call it official chapter rides. We have a lead, we have a route, everything is pre-planned, we sign our waivers, and that's because it's a chapter ride. Ultimately, the officers are responsible for what you guys do out there. So we want to have an organized event, a lead that knows what to do, and we can get everybody from point A to point B safely. But in a room like this, you're sitting with everybody at the table, you're looking at the weather, and you're like, you know what, hey, if I got nothing to do Saturday, I'd like to go on a ride. Feel free to look at somebody else at the table and say, hey, you doing anything? I kind of want to go ride. Anybody interested? And do your own ride with your chapter members. That is okay. That's allowed. That's encouraged, because then everybody gets to know everybody. You know, the road captains can't do everything for everybody. There's too many days, there's too many places to go. For vacations, things have changed over the years in the chapter. We went through a period a few years ago where we were very lucky to have a couple of guys that were retired. They were financially capable, and they were doing 2-week rides. They go out west to Colorado, out to Arizona, you know, which is wonderful. But they were in a position to be able to do that. It wasn't an official chapter ride. But they would, I'm going here, does anybody want to go with? And they'd end up with, you know, 6, 8, 10 people going on their rides. That's fine, do it. You know, that's part of being the social, that, you know, we're more than just a club that sits there and follows the leader. You know, we've got personal relationships with people, and that's what we like to see, and that's how you really get to know people, is when you do go out somewhere with them. And then we'd like to see that, and you guys not be shy to do it. If you're going somewhere and you need, you know, hey, I'm going down to the Smokies, you know, any suggestion where to stay or how to get there, hey, we got no problem. We can help you with the route. We can give, you know, this town's got hotels, you know, but we need you guys to kind of grab the brass ball and, you know, do it.
I need Colorado tips for this year, please.
So I did that the other day. Southwest. I don't know, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I threw something up on Meetup because I'm headed down to New Orleans in a couple of weeks. Going to do the run from New Orleans to Daytona. Hang out in Daytona for a while, and I got a big fucking pickup truck and a big trailer. I'm trailering down there, obviously.
Well, you
I'm
didn't
not
say
riding
that.
negative 10 degrees. But it's
You
going to
didn't
be
say you were
30.
trailering.
But here's the thing, it's like, I'm sorry, Meetup sucks. It's a ghost town.
I never saw it.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
It's not, it's not
Which brings me to my real point. If anybody wants to go down to Daytona with me, I'm going February 27th. But,
and that's where two-wheel therapy used properly would be good.
yeah.
And that's what it was intended for.
But I noticed, and again, I'm the new guy, nobody knows me, I don't know any of you guys, whatever, but what I can tell from other chapters that I've seen is they're using that hug scan software, which is a little more inviting for the youngies. And I think, you know, you might get a little more participation from the younger crowd if you kind of switched over to hug scan maybe. Just a thought.
What is that?
See, exactly. Our point.
There's a point, that's perfect.
I'll work for it.
I'm an old,
Yeah.
what is it?
So most of the bigger chapters are using software called HogScan, and it's an actual website for the chapter. Wildfire has it, I think Fox Valley has it.
Do we know about this?
No, it's the first time I hear about it.
Want to see it?
Yeah.
She's looking for it.
Well, get on, look up wildfirehog.org, I think it is.
But they won't be able to clean up just a little bit.
I thought that's what
Is it an?
So is there any other thoughts, any other comments, any other questions? John?
Why'd you guys drop your website?
Never had one.
Yes, you did. Yeah, we had a website.
I know.
But it caused, there wasn't a lot of activity on it, and it was always getting hacked.
It was always getting
Right,
hacked,
it's
the
getting
cost to
hacked.
maintain it was kept going up and up and up.
Should cost you about $100 a year.
Okay, well, because we kept on investing in software in order for it to be prevented being hacked. For some reason, we have problems with our website.
And you were the guy we need to talk to then.
It's only gonna
We run our, because we have an ongoing calendar that has everything for the year, and people can go to any month, any year, find what they want, links to everything, and it's in one central place. I have to admit it, I'm a computer programmer, I get on Vito, I want to punch my monitor. It's a piece of shit, it really is. It's not organized well. I wanted to go find the form for today for sign up. And I go hunting around, finally found a link, took the link, got, okay, there's the form. So it's not organized, it's not your guys' fault, that's the way it's set up.
Yeah, we still have our domain name. We didn't,
Oh,
we
really?
kept that. but
It's
we
easier to
have-
protect the website now from hackers than it was 10 years ago.
I have to admit it, we're sitting, what used to be hands-on hosting, which got moved over to Total Server, which got moved to a third party, but never been hacked once. And I've been running the thing for 15 years. Never been hacked. I'm not sure why you guys would get hacked, but that's.
I'm not a technical guy, so I don't know. But
Right, I'm saying-
Wow,
that-
this
That's what
website
happened.
is awesome.
That's the year for the domain, and then the domain name's $15 a year, and once you build the site, it's just maintaining it after that. And it's a lot easier for people to jump on what's going on in April. Here's the entire month. There's March.
We have talked about,
Boy, this
we have talked about,
If we keep the cheaters out,
quiet down a minute. We have talked about the officers, the need to set up a website so we can put on there the membership form, our introduction to the chapter, a calendar, so people can go and see that on this day they have a meeting here. Come here. On this day they got a ride, so that outside people can see us.
What's the domain name?
I've never seen it before.
is it difficult?
No, I'm gonna look at it when I get home.
Trust me, I'll start
Not
texting.
Ace, we need to look into this. This is.
Yeah, he's got it down. We'll send it over to Lenny.
People are getting a little rambunctious.
Yep.
He's also sure he's gonna win, so.
Yeah, okay, we'll take a break.
Just a
We'll do
suggestion.
more raffles. Everybody, the sign-up sheet is in the table in the hallway. Please make sure to sign in for the raffles. And we will do that and then come back and see, think about what's going on. We don't want to beat this to death and get everyone totally bored. But we're hearing a lot of good stuff that hopefully will help us in the future. Last thing, we have a card, get well card for Rick Case. He's been in and out of the hospital. He's got some blood clots in his legs. He had some other issues, and it's just one thing or another with Rick. So we're just going to send him a card. If anybody needs to sign it, it'll be up here before you go.
Be out of the hospital now?
He is out of the hospital now.
He wants to go back to work.
Alright, do we have any of the suggestion sheets to turn in?
I got one.
Any suggestion sheets to turn in?
Well, Don didn't want to give it to me. I'm sorry.
Any suggestion sheets to turn in? Anything else? Anybody else? All right, so it's 8:35. You guys want to read this now, or you want the officers to go ahead and take care of it?
Read it!
Nah.
Read it!
That's what I like to hear. All right. I'm talking about.
How many you got?
I got a lot.
Oh, I gotta go.
Okay. So, I'm not going to read any names. I'm just going to keep things anonymous, if that's all right with you.
Good idea.
All right. A certain so-and-so. Bring a friend night for a chapter meeting. See if you know someone who rides, who would maybe be interested in joining a club and bringing them to a meeting. Absolutely. Actually, that's happened a lot, to be honest with you. Chris is a prime example. So Mark Tack, you guys know Mark Tack, German Mark. So Mark works with Chris's brother, and then they found out that she rode, so Mark invited her. She got lost because Mark gave her the wrong directions, and then
And now I'm here.
here we are.
Glad you
So,
found us.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now she's the love of my life. I can't stand Mark for that. All right. Do an event, dinner, game night at the dealer. I think we did that one time, and we stopped doing it.
We've done it for 3 years.
Yeah.
Event,
So
dinner.
this is something that we can get back to because it was actually a fun night. And,
Actually, when we did it last year,
Yeah.
last year, or for, during the
Yeah,
this winter, we had 4 people show up.
so invite an old member who left. Maybe they would be interested in rejoining. So I'm gonna put a circle around that one.
Ron said no.
be old or can you
You gotta be retired.
Yeah.
You know, and then maybe we can tweak this a little bit on game night. And I also have a very good idea about movie night as well.
Hell yeah.
Are we doing a movie night this year?
Come on, man. We're not planning on it. We tried to do it twice last year, and we just got no interest.
May I do a suggestion?
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
I would like to suggest a movie that has nothing to do with motorcycles.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would like to suggest the Blues Brothers for our movie night in February.
Wait a minute. Ace.
Something out of Chicago.
When we
Maybe
did
a Home
Blazing
Alone.
Saddles,
Yeah.
when we
How
chose
about
Blazing
Chorus
Saddles,
Line?
it, it was a choice between the two, so.
Fiction.
And that's what we were planning on the last time, which was last year, but nobody wanted it.
So anybody in this room who's in favor of doing movie night?
Hell yeah.
Anybody in favor of doing the Blues Brothers?
Hell yeah.
Why? Because of funky music. That's what I'm talking about.
Good sound.
All right, so we'll talk to the dealer, see if we can arrange a night, and
We'll do
we
it
can
in
see if we can try to get a movie night before writing season starts.
We'll do it in March. In March.
In March.
February's pretty full.
Okay, there we go. Blues Brothers on the calendar. Here is a suggestion. Oh, fuck yeah. All right, so rides. Door County.
Yeah.
So I'll be giving these to you after we're done. The second one, strip joints.
Hell yeah.
York County.
Hey,
Chris is down for it.
Chris will be doing the lap dances.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Festivals. You know, me, Nick, and Chris went up to Summerfest one year. Had a fucking blast. Wisconsin Dells. Do a weekend at Wisconsin Dells. These are wonderful suggestions. I will be giving this to Kevin.
We're building a house in North Canada right now.
For Wisconsin,
I got a place to stay.
yeah, for Wisconsin Dells, I don't know if they're still doing it, but they used to have a car show the weekend before
Yeah.
Memorial Day, before all the hotel rooms went up. So you could get in, you could get a hotel room, and it was down in the park, right off the old strip where Tommy Bartlett's was. And it's all free.
Great turnout of cars there too.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, looks like these are more ride suggestions. Motorcycle Museum in Iowa overnight.
Closes September 5th.
Closes September 5th, thank you.
Anamosa.
Okay, so, well, all these ride ones will go to Mr. Kevin Peterson. Hanks in Ottawa, and
Sunday brunch.
Sunday brunch, thank you.
It's my.
Then, next one, we used to do this every winter, and I can't go anymore, because I don't have a fucking FOID card. The shooting range.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So, I mean, for those who have your FOID card and
You can
those
go as a
who
guest.
own.
You can go as a guest.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Get another card. Chris is.
No, I had to remove my teardrops so you guys would respect me a little bit more.
Ace, Most ranges, one FOID card,
Right.
2 on a lane.
Not in Illinois.
Most
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Sure?
Positive.
I was told if you couldn't go to a FOID card, you couldn't go to a shooting.
No,
No.
no, you go with one card, you're not by yourself.
Yeah, there's enough.
I was up at In Target yesterday with someone who didn't have a
All
whistle.
right, I'm down. I'm down. I love that.
I have a ride to Ottawa at the Buffalo Outdoor Range, and they will even supply you with a FOID card if you want to come on the shoot.
Nice. We'll talk. Chapter,
Hey,
chapter something game, afternoon or evening. Sorry, I can't read this handwriting. B-U-N-T-R-O?
Bunko game.
Bunko.
I don't know what that is, I'm sorry.
Another one, Mahjong.
Bunko.
They all talk about it and say it's fun.
Twister.
Porno.
Wait, is that regular Twister or Crisco Twister?
What?
Because I know the Crisco Twister. Yeah, we'll talk about that when I'm a little bit more drunk. Poker runs to dealers. So we got those. Poker runs to dealer and chapter bunco game, afternoon or evening. Maggie Valley in North Carolina. Just did that last year. Not far from the Dragon. Wheels Through Time Museum. So obviously this will probably be a week-long ride kind of ordeal. You know, I just did this ride this last summer. I'm going to Colorado this year. But this is Maggie Valley is a very, very nice spot if anybody's interested.
Motorcycle when you go to Colorado.
Last week of August.
Wheels Through Time. 1 mile away.
All right, here we go. Have party nights behind the dealership on a certain night with a band, jam, hot dogs, and fire pit. I like that. Nice job, Barry. I like that. So, you know, I mean, that's something that we can do. I mean, we were talking about doing a barbecue this year. We already have it on the books. Maybe we can add a band to the barbecue. Yeah? Holy fuck.
No, I think
Do rides to local festivals and carnivals. Yes, I do like that. I know, is it Elmhurst or Elk Grove Village that does like really big concerts for their Fourth of July?
Mount Prospect.
I mean,
Anybody goes to Mount Prospect, they can park in my driveway, I'm right behind you.
there you go. I mean, I can tell you some of the best festivals that I've been to.
Keep coming.
I'm sorry to say, but they're in Chicago. So, West Fest, best one around. The Amboy Car Show, called Depot Days Car Show, August 27, 2023. Usually a large 50-50 over $10,000 to the winner. Where is this at?
Amboy, Illinois. Down by Mendota.
Okay, man.
She's like an encyclopedia, you know? It's unbelievable.
She's a teacher.
What's the Pythagorean
That's his favorite one.
It's his theory.
Geometry.
Okay, rides. Still going with the rides. Holy Hill. Kevin used to do that every year.
Where's that?
It's up in Wisconsin. It's outside Kettleman Rain area. It's probably about a half an hour away from west of Milwaukee. But Kevin used to go all the time, but he stopped it because nobody was signing up for it anymore. So here we go. Holy Hill, back on the list. Indiana Dunes National Park, Porter, Indiana. That's a great one. I actually thought about going up to Milwaukee, grabbing the ferry, take the ferry across the lake, wind up in Michigan, have lunch in Holland, and ride back down, come down. So that was a suggestion that I was thinking about doing this year.
South side or the north
To
side?
ride the ferry.
Huh?
Very expensive to ride the ferry.
Yeah.
If you catch the first one out, it's not as bad, and they give you a deal for multiple motorcycles.
One bike. We tried calling them up. First bike is like $15 and all the rest are full price.
Oh,
And
wow.
you have to bring
I
all
know,
your
it's
own
like, what?
straps.
Things have
What the deal
changed,
is that?
because when I looked, it was like $45 for like 3 bikes. When I
Yeah.
looked at it before,
Yeah.
this was before COVID, when I was thinking about doing it.
And you gotta bring all
Um,
your own straps.
So suggestions, member contact list, phone numbers. We will definitely look into that now that we've had this discussion about trying to meet up with other people for rides. Incorporate chapter rides, meet up in the dealer Facebook page so we can see our calendar of rides and meet new members. So that's a good one. We could talk to the dealership and see, because we used to have our own link on the dealership page. And I think that stopped, right? Because I haven't seen it.
Yeah, that stopped.
So we'll see if we can get a link back onto the dealership page. And then when we go to that link, I think it'll be a good idea what the chapter's about, and then dates for that month for the rides. So I'm gonna give this to, I'll give this to Kevin, but I think these, the member contact list, will definitely get Lenny on that when we see him at the next officers meeting.
Have you ever thought about setting up a private page for you guys, for the chapter on Facebook?
And we actually have it, but nobody used it.
You're kidding.
Nobody used it. We have our own website. I'm sorry, we have our own emails as officers.
Right. No, I'm talking about, we have a page that I admin and only members, and I let them in. We have about 99 members in that page, and it's only chapter members. So they can see each other, no one else can come in and do nonsense. And same thing you were talking about, a free Tuesday. Who wants to know? And they're doing that on Facebook because it's a private page that you would control as the admin.
Yeah, we had it and nobody was using it, honestly.
Maybe they would not.
We need to make him our technology administrator.
We asked, he denied.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Money talks.
Sells bikes,
Sorry?
is the dealership promoting our chapter?
Yes,
Yes,
very
we-
much so.
And we're also getting a lump sum, I don't know if it's every quarter or at the end of the year, amount of the membership that we're getting from new bikes. They stopped doing that at COVID, because when I first signed up, I was automatically in nationals and I was automatically set up in my local, all right? So what the chapter is doing now is that we have to provide proof that John bought a new bike, that he showed up to one of our meetings or he showed up to our event, and they're like, okay, we got John Sweeney down for $25. So yes, that is starting to happen now. They stopped it, but we are getting that back.
Yes, and also, every time a new or used bike is sold, part of the sales package is to fill it out and give the form to us, so we know every person that buys a bike is city limits now. So we can send an invitation, come on out, activate your free membership.
And if Kitty knows about it, she's actually been calling them. You just made me look bad. You just made me a liar. You just made me a liar. Unbelievable.
That does work.
There you go. The trust of the people is finally gone. I feel like a fucking politician now.
How do you feel under the bus?
No, I sent out a whole bunch of emails inviting them out because I was sitting here, I got their emails and I sent it out, come on out.
That does work a lot. Officer Large gets a list of 100 calls,
Yeah.
people to invite them.
I sent out an invite to one of the girls. Sent her out. Hey, come join us. I don't see her here, but.
All right, so we got another suggestion for poker runs. A ride to Poopies in Savannah. It's not? Well, no, not right now. Not right now. But I mean, for alternates, there's Cycle Silo. There's places we can do. Riding as a pickup was, as always, what I did. Totally spontaneous. John Costello, Jim Berard, and I would just take off for a impromptu ride. I guess it was kind of the two-wheel therapy, and that's absolutely right. Because I've done a couple of those with John Costello, Jim Berard, John Chalupa, Kevin Chamberlain. And those were some of my best rides. Great. Oh my Lord.
Great River Run.
Great River Ride, thank you. And what's the rest of it? Welcome to the...
Dinner ride instead of.
Set up at a black.
Okay. So we'll give this to Mr. Kevin. So it looks like the consensus is to get two-wheel therapy back up and running. Ride to Kissimmee, Florida. Right?
That's where you live.
Ride to Kissimmee, Florida. May need a couple stops. John Chalupa, Airbnb.
Hey, are you near Panama City Beach?
It's got a lanai.
Room and board is included too.
All right, so
Gas card.
these are all great and things that I would not have been able to think about, honestly, other than doing long distance rides and stuff like that. You know, and then like, you know, getting back to the old school. I mean, it's, you know, these are things that we were just talking about, the fact they're like, oh, we're doing the same thing over and over and over, but yeah, you guys keep bringing up the old school, which means that these are things that you like that we just stopped doing. You know, I definitely want to bring the movie night, but I was a firm believer that it shouldn't have to deal with, you know, motorcycles. Just pick a great movie that everybody knows and have a great time watching it. And the Blues Brothers was always my first thought.
Has anybody thought about doing a ride up for the anniversary this year?
Yeah, we already have something in plan in regards to that. And we're hoping,
You do?
yeah,
We're going.
yeah, well, give us a minute to plan it, but we're hoping that, because the gentleman that I talked to that gave me this rant, that was one of his things. How come the chapter doesn't pick a place that we all go as a chapter? And one of those reasons why it's very hard to do logistics. When I do my trip, Chris is on the phone for 3 weeks investigating hotels. It takes a lot. You know, you got to put rest stops, gas stops.
Yep.
You know, if we do restaurants, we got to make sure that the restaurants can accommodate 100 people. I mean, there's a lot of logistics involved, and it's very hard to do. However, when we do something like this, where it's an outdoor event, I feel that every member that is able and capable to ride, we should definitely go as a chapter and go by the numbers. You know, the very first, when I bought my bike, it was so we're 110. It was for the 110th anniversary. And it was, again, the usual suspects: Costello, Chalupa, Chamberlain, Berard, Chamberlain's brother, Mark Tack. Those are the guys that I went with. And it was like, you're waiting like a half an hour to get into these parking lots. Or you're parking in the middle of the street and it's a 3-block walk. It was like a mini Sturgis for these big anniversary parties. And I really wish that something like that we could all go and enjoy. Because if you've never been to one of their 5-year anniversary parties, it's a freaking blast. Afterwards, those guys tore off. Me and Mark, we went to Summerfest grounds and watched ZZ Top. Awesome. And that was the first time that he rode on the expressway at night, coming back home. So, I de-virginized Mark Tack a lot on his bike, just so you guys know. He never went 80 miles an hour until he met me. So, I'm still working on you. Anybody else?
I have a suggestion. If some of these bigger rides, instead of you guys taking on the responsibility of putting all the logistics together, seeing if maybe a group of people or might want to do the Kissimmee ride and they'll just work on that. Or another group of people will just do the Milwaukee ride.
Kind of like a mini committee.
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
very
say
hard to
that
say.
5 times real fast.
Yeah, exactly. That was very hard to say. Mini committee. I totally agree. I mean, Kevin's got it. You've heard it. If anybody wants to do Kissimmee, do it. What's up, Kim?
I nominate to help Kevin, myself.
Well, you're already busy. You're already busy the end of August.
I know, I'm tied up for that one.
So,
Okay, I got a question. Barry?
Oh, I just wondered, I wondered on any long trips with many bikes, are there chase vehicles
Nope.
available?
no.
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 Those you have will.
I'm considering.
That's what we had Mike
Truck
Woodman for.
wagon.
No.
Valentine's Day.
Ernie's Tony.
All right, that's right.
1-800. Love the speech. You want to hug it out? Let's hug it out. Come on, come on, bring it in.
Just hit him.
Bye, it was nice to meet you. Have a great night.
You got everybody's name.
Valentine's got the transport, they're using it for
So we can send it out in blast. Because we need.
well, I was out over North Avenue, but it's Valentine's.
You want your information out
Speaking
there on
of
the
movie
web?
night,
Okay, I do have a
movie
question.
night,
Many years ago,
that was one of our movie
a
nights.
lot of chapter friends used to go to like the bike swap meets. Walnick's has got a big one that they do up at Woodstock Fairground. Is it the Henry County Fairgrounds in Woodstock? All right, it's the end of April. Would anybody be interested in going to something like that?
Yeah, I would.
Huh? Okay, next question. It's the end of April. It's a big grass parking field, big grass lot. If it's wet, yeah. If it's a wet mud hole like the last time I was there, would any place? Balloon tires. Would you still be interested in going in the cars?
Sure.
All right, we'll throw that on the calendar.
They still, I used to go to Rat Rock thing there that they stopped. They do have gravel areas, and I can't believe that they have
It depends on whether they're full or not.
What?
First come, first
Depends
served.
on first come, first served. We got there and there was no gravel. All right.
Anything else, guys? It's a good meeting. Motion to close?
Meeting is closed.
Thank you guys for your input, appreciate it.